Okay, well, let's get started, and if there's others who join, we can share the recording with them. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining our aRoundTable showcase event during Circular Cities Week 2021. Today we'll kind of quickly go over Circular Cities Week and what is happening this week in terms of the Circular Economy Club and all the different activities. Share an overview of aRoundTable, and also share the kind of outcomes of aRoundTable 2021, the kind of series of events that we had this year, with the participation of Milan, Florence, Nakuru, and Almada. And we're excited to share some of the great projects and outcomes that came out of the process. And we'll have each of the different team leads talk to you about the initiatives that they came up with and the sort of next steps in terms of the implementation of some of their projects. And then we'll sort of conclude with questions and answers and networking at the end. So Circular Cities Week is happening right now from the 25th to the 31st of October. And it's the third edition of the Circular Economy Club's global initiative, Circular Cities Week, where different cities from around the world are hosting various events. And this year, the focus is on the implementation of the circular economy, how to drive projects and initiatives around circular economy in various cities and communities. And we thought it was as appropriate during this week, as it is focused on implementation, to kind of share with you all what we've been up to with aRoundTable, with the involvement of 4 different Circular Economy Club communities from around the world: Circular Economy Club Milan, Florence, Almada, and Nakuru. So just an overview of how we got to starting aRoundTable earlier this year. Because of the coronavirus, it sort of completely disrupted our way of life and impacted communities globally. And so we were thinking about how we could take some time to understand how we could utilize this pandemic to rethink the way we operate and understand how to use circular economy thinking to rebuild our communities. And that is how we got to sort of developing aRoundTable, a sort of global collaborative initiative to help various communities from around the world design circular projects that can fast track the circular economy transition and help these communities build back better. Our mission is really to help organizations from around the world drive innovation in their communities and turn their ideas into real life circular economy projects that can be implemented. And the process of aRoundTable consists of 4 different steps and kind of shares a design thinking approach. And the first step is really to kind of help the communities understand and map the various problems and challenges that their communities are facing, and look at existing solutions and identifying gaps where additional solutions can address these issues. And once that step is over, the second step is really to prioritize important problem areas and focus on where additional initiatives or additional support could really solve some of these issues. In addition to that, this step also involves identifying the key stakeholders who need to be involved in order to make change happen and actually realize some of these initiatives. And with the third step, it's really focused on, once the sort of problem is defined, how do we ideate and enhance existing solutions or co-design new solutions in order to solve some of these problems. And it also involves creating a prototyping plan to further develop a solution, get feedback from the community, and get more involvement and engagement from various stakeholders. And the last step is really focused on identifying key conditions that are required to scale this initiative, and an implementation plan to look at resources needed, what are the roles of different stakeholders involved, and what are the potential impacts of a circular economy project. And as part of aRoundTable, we developed a lot of templates to help some of the communities that participate go through each of these steps. Each of these templates kind of guide the teams within these communities to essentially come up with various ideas and structure their thinking. And these are some of the outcomes from aRoundTable 2021, where we looked at various problems facing these communities and sort of saw how interconnected a lot of these problems are, as well as looked at where different solutions exist and where different solutions could be possible. And then you can see also from the second step, there's a sort of prioritization of some of these problems and a focus on them to see which ones are the quick wins, and a look at the kind of stakeholders to see who are the key players and who are the organizations that within these communities that need to be involved in order to make change happen. And in the third and fourth step, the kind of ideation of the different solutions and the implementation of them can be also seen from these different templates. And we'll go into some of the solutions more in the following slides. So the kind of outcomes of aRoundTable 2021 were focused on the 4 communities that were involved: Milan, Florence, Africa with CEC Nakuru, and Portugal with CEC Almada. And these are some of the projects that they came up with, and I'll have each of the teams sort of share more later. But it was essentially focused with Milan on the creation of a neighborhood circular hub to exchange items and knowledge within the community. In Florence, it was focused on a partnership platform for circular collaboration in the leather industry. The Africa team came up with an idea to develop a community center with equipment to upcycle various waste into products. And lastly, the Portugal team developed an idea to look at intergenerational connections between nursing home residents and students in schools to enable exchange of knowledge and skills between the older generation and the younger generation. So these were some really amazing ideas that came out of aRoundTable this year. And as I said before, it was sort of the outcomes of a 4-month process where we had each of the teams go through the 4 steps outlined before to come to this point. So what I'd like to do now is to sort of take some time to allow the different teams to kind of share these ideas in more detail. And to kick it off, I'd like to invite Carlotta Manzoni from Circular Economy Club Milan, who was leading the aRoundTable Milan team to come up with their ideas. So Carlotta, thanks a lot for joining. And I'll just switch over to the slide here that gives more detail about your project, and we'd love to sort of learn more about what you came up with.
Thank you, Shyam. Well, yes, thank you also for coordinating all the process and to lead us to along all the steps of the aRoundTable. It's been quite tough, especially to bring to keep people engaged during the whole process, but in the end we came up with something quite interesting, although it will be quite difficult to bring it further in the development. So I was saying that the place is supposed to become an hub where people can share their tools and objects, but also artisans can share their knowledge, and makers can teach people how to make their own stuff or repair things and repurpose goods that are not working anymore. And also considering the new regulations that are coming in Italy about recycling of special waste, let's say, like electronic devices or textile. Those apps can work as a collection point for this new sorting, facilitating this new sorting of waste, which now goes into the undifferentiated waste. And finally, yeah, they could also work as physical marketplace embedded with circular economy culture, where also education programs can be run, etc. So it will be, they will represent, these hubs will represent the circular economy principles, and they will be a living example of how it can and should work. Of course, it is quite ambitious, as I said. So first of all, we should find a location, ideally a new space in the city. But like the municipality of Milan is working on a lot of renovation projects on new spaces. So it will be matching with their plans and ongoing activities. Also, it will be key to engage with artisans and designers, but also citizens, schools, and profit organizations to like provide their competencies and know-how, as mentioned before. And of course, public and private funding to support the initiative will be key. And also, like, considering that as Circular Economy Club, we are not an organization, we're not an NGO, we're all people working and dedicating their spare time to this wonderful world of circular economy. It will be essential to find an organization or like a group of people willing to take on this project to and run it, because we cannot quit our job to do that, and it will be quite demanding. But still, we are quite aligned with the municipality of Milan, as I mentioned, and we are also in contact with them, especially through one of our member of Circular Economy Club. And also we took part in an initiative promoted by Beppe Sala, the mayor of Milan. So it will be easier probably to at least present the idea, and if they like it, we can support in the coordination of it. But yeah, as I mentioned, it is quite ambitious.
No,
Next time we will try to be more focused on a smaller area, but it was quite interesting to go through the steps of the roundtable, and we decided to dream bigger.
No, that's great to hear, and it's great that it's aligned with the plans of the city as well, and that you're in contact with them. But no, I think it's great to keep that large North Star to shoot towards. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. If any of you are interested in learning more or getting in touch with Carlotta, you can scan the QR code in the top right. It'll take you to the aRoundTable website, where it will have more details about this idea, and there's a link to sort of contact Carlotta if you're interested in supporting this initiative, if you're an organization, like she said, that is willing to take this on.
Thank you.
Great. And moving on to the next team, we're happy to have Riccardo from Firenze, from CEC Firenze, who led the aRoundTable Florence team, and would love to have him share his ideas from Florence as part of aRoundTable.
Hi, thank you, Shia. Okay, first of all, thanks because aRoundTable came when we just started to meet here in Florence, and it gave us it helped us to create engagement with the people, and we followed the process more than one time every month. We were meeting every week, so we had the meeting with you, and then we repeated each step. And repeating different steps, we made some pivot, how they're called for startup. So the first week, as a problem tree, we mapped the oils, used oils. We mapped some architectural topic and tourism. We mapped the different topics. Then the second step, we considered also the prioritization of different topics. So it helped us to choose what to consider, where to put our effort. And the third step, we imagined a platform, a marketplace for dead stock in the leather sector. also because we have some connection with the tannery, we have some connection with a consortium of companies working in the leather sector. Then the last meeting, we made another pivot, and we were thinking that it's not just about the marketplace, it's not just about selling them, but it's maybe more effective, also easier, and would have a greater impact. A kind of how did we call it? Partner place, a kind of place where in the leather sector, a place when could be browsed intentions and activities and needs to activate some cooperation towards circular economy. So we imagined. I don't know if Valentina wants to say something.
Yes, this platform is thought to improve collaboration and the spread of circular solutions. So we are thinking to in the next month to talk with different stakeholders, and so try to understand if there's an interest in sharing information and in joining a platform through a monthly subscription. We may have also the structure of the platform already available, so it might be low effort but high result kind of prototype. We will see. We will keep you updated.
No, that's great to hear. No, it's awesome that through the process you kind of discovered a specific area and opportunity to kind of add value around the circular economy in the industry. And yeah, great to hear that you're already working on the beginnings of such a platform. And yeah, if you need any support in terms of help with that platform, with the development, I'm sure there's many who are listening who might be able to provide those kinds of resources to make that a reality. And yeah, we'll certainly kind of share the updates and the progress that you're making on this effort with the others as well. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about Florence's aRoundTable project, as with the others, there's the QR code to read more about their effort and get in touch with the Florence team, with Ricardo and Valentina and the others, if you're interested in providing support for this project. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you, Shyam.
And then next we have Cyrus from Circular Economy Club Nakuru, who led the aRoundTable Africa team and came up with a really interesting project around a community hub as well, similar to Milan, but with a different focus on upcycling waste.
Good evening, everyone. Are you able to hear me clearly? So I'll start by the initial process where we started. We had participation from Kenya, Uganda, a bit of people from Rwanda and Botswana, and interestingly, we have someone from Germany on the first two sessions who joined us. So we started by thinking what are the problems that are facing most African countries, African cities in terms of the issues that are affecting us, and how can we solve those issues from a circular economy perspective. So from the discussion, the first two discussions, we saw that waste is a major problem, especially within cities, growing cities within Africa. So we decided why not start with plastic waste, which is more or less an issue across globally. So the whole idea was now to come up with a community center that now deals with the different types of plastic. We like cycle the plastic waste into products, and we decided we are able now to come up with different ways to upcycle the plastic. We can create one, a extrusion workspace, a sheet workspace, an injection workspace, or a machine shop now to produce the machines that will be able now to be used in the different workspaces. From the different workspaces, we're also able to produce products for different industries. Like the extrusion and sheet workspaces, you're able to produce products that can be used in the built environment. You're able to do bricks, you're able to do beams, you're able to do sheets that now can be alternatives to more intensive products that are used within now the built environment. For the machine shop, basically the whole idea is to create the machines locally, to create employment for the locals. And the whole idea about this is now to partner with local colleges, technical colleges that now give the technical training on how to develop and improve on the machines that are used in the workspaces. We're also thinking on another idea of maybe incorporating organic waste composting within our same workspaces. The whole idea will be now some of the upcycled plastic waste you can make the composting bins. The composting bins that can now be used now in the organic waste value stream. So some of the resources we are looking at is from now the citizens, schools, community-based organizations. There's one we had identified and we are working with within a local area. They do plastic waste collection, and they have a challenge when it comes now on how do they add value to the plastic that they've collected. Some of the other partners we are looking into is the municipality itself, the local government, and going higher up, the national government. Some of the resources that you actually need is now the machinery themselves, whereby we're also able to make it more or less open source. So now from the designs of the machines, from the technical colleges, from the different partners, we're able to provide those blueprints, and we got in touch with Precious Plastics, and they are more than willing to help. They had required us to identify more or less a community-based organization they are able to work with, a space, and what are the legal requirements within the area that you want to work with. So far, the steps we've been able to make, as of 2 weeks ago, as a country, we launched our Plastic Pact, which is part of the Ellen MacArthur, the circular economy for plastics. So that will be something very worthwhile going forward to now build onto that. And I've been able to get in touch with a few people within now the Kenya Plastics Pact, and they're more or less positive on the whole idea. As of last week, we celebrated, on the 14th, we celebrated e-waste day. And there's a local organization, the Circular Innovation Hub. It's more or less a new startup within the country, and they are more or less willing to see how this idea can be incorporated now within their main mandate. For them, they are looking at pushing the concept of right to repair, and they are more or less seeing how are they able now to use the plastic waste stream or other waste streams, e-waste, into now building onto that. So hopefully in the next 2 months, we'll be able to make headway when it comes to what we want to do as a CEC Nakuru, and also the larger country, and also to be able to now to export it to other regions as well. Yeah. So that's it from CEC Nakuru.
That's very exciting, Cyrus. No, it's great to hear. It's wonderful that you kind of managed to connect with the different organizations that are able to provide the blueprints, and that there's a lot of activity happening at the local and national level as well around plastics waste and how to help the different initiatives address plastic waste, and that your idea is can be an integral part of that. So yeah, congratulations on the idea and the progress you've made so far. And yeah, looking forward to seeing, you know, how this community center shapes up with the different open source equipment and how it can support Nakuru, and also, as you said, how this idea can be exported to other regions as well, and kind of developed over there. And yeah, if you're interested in sort of supporting Cyrus and learning more about his project, you can learn more through the QR code and get in contact with him if you're able to sort of help provide the necessary resources to set up the community center, provide the equipment, etc., and contribute to the objectives of his community in addressing plastic waste. So thank you so much, Cyrus.
Congratulations on your project. I think it's yeah, it's really amazing. I feel in love with this project, and by curiosity or not, I live in a town in Portugal that, as a matter of fact, is one of the biggest in the world in the production of injection molding and molding parts for automotive industry, household, pharmaceutical, you mentioned it. So I was thinking that if in any situation you see, and I'm seeing one situation already, but if any situation you see, you might need some help or some support, I can put you in contact with the local companies that can provide you help. I was thinking immediately about molds when I saw the molds for the injection molding, in particular for the injection molding. I was thinking about some companies that they build the molds, they create the molds to produce, imagine a box. And then, yeah, the box suddenly goes out of market because nobody else wants it anymore. Eventually, they can make a good price, they can offer it under a ESG program or something like that. They can give their contribution. So I'm available. I will send you. I will put my email address in the chat, and then if you have interest, we can get in contact. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll definitely get in touch.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it. Already collaboration between different communities and potential resources being exchanged. That's wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much, Enrique. Yeah, and you know, if any of you have sort of ideas, feel free to kind of mention it in the chat or raise your hand and we can have you say if there's any ideas that you have to kind of take these projects to the next level. And then yeah, indeed. So would love to have Mariana share some of the ideas that came out of the Portugal team.
So hello everyone, it's nice to be here again. And thank you, Shai, for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit more about what happened in the last months. So thankfully the project is moving forward. So in fact, in September we submitted one application to the Social European Fund. And we did that because one of the things that we realized during aRoundTable was that in order to have a bigger impact, we should do first a pilot to test the idea and to improve the idea. So in order to make this possible, we submit this application, and the main goal is to test this idea in 2 cities in Alentejo, when I am right now. It's a region in Portugal, and we are waiting for the results. We did this application in partnership with the public organization from here, from Alentejo, ADRAL, and we also did some partnerships with senior universities and associations that work with people that are unemployed for a long time and people that have disabilities. And so we called the project the Asian Schools. And one of the main goal of this project is to recover some of the Portuguese traditional arts and crafts, which are a part of the Portuguese story and by nature are related with the circular economy principles. Because as a person that I know used to say, the genuine circular economy was in our grandmother's houses. And so taking this idea into the field, we wanted to recover this knowledge and stimulate creativity and the entrepreneurial skills in unemployed people, particularly those that are in greater risk of exclusion, such people that has disabilities or long-term unemployed people. And so first we want to map these ancestral practices that are in fact in line with circular economy, and we want to revive them, combining the best of the past with the best of the future. And after this, we want to promote the creation of new products and jobs through the application of these practices. And we will make sure that these ancestral practices will promote the reuse of safe and abundant raw materials, enhancing the use phase through forms of production that actually respect the natural systems. And to do this project, we want to work very closely with senior universities that will actually help us to identify these practices and will also help us to train and pass this knowledge, this traditional knowledge to the communities, in particular the association that already work with these people. And at the same time, we want to reinforce the importance of involving the senior communities in the resolution of social, economic, and environmental challenges. And we want to make sure that these people are that are full of stories, knowledge, and experience are an important part of the solution. And at the same time, they can have an active, they can be more active during the senior age. And yeah, so right now we are waiting for the results. We are expecting to receive the results during December. And yeah, but we are hoping to start the pilot in 2022 in these two cities.
That's wonderful. No, that's great to hear that that you guys have kind of taken steps to pilot the approach, and best of luck with the application process. And yeah, if there's any support you need in terms of implementing the project once sort of you hear back, or if you're looking for additional opportunities for funding or resources to create a pilot, you know, feel free for those of you listening to check out more about Portugal's aRoundTable project by scanning that QR code, and you can get in touch with Mariana and her team to learn more and see how you could support them. Yeah, really excited to see where that initiative goes in terms of bringing together the older generation and the younger generation. So yeah, thank you all so much for sharing everything in your communities, the projects that you came up with, and it's all wonderful to see the different initiatives that that came out as a result of aRoundTable this year. And when we first started, they were just sort of ideas, and it's great to see, you know, them turning into actionable initiatives and hearing about the progress that that you all have made. And you know, we hope that aRoundTable and sort of the community and those of us who are sort of listening to these different projects can support you. And you know, we encourage all of you who are listening to connect with the leaders of these different initiatives and their teams to support the implementation of their projects in any way that you can. And we're excited to also start planning aRoundTable 2022 next year as a chance for these communities to kind of come up with additional ideas or additional solutions and projects, but also invite other cities from around the world to also participate in this kind of process And we're happy to announce that we're sort of starting a partnership with the O2 Global Network. They're sort of a network of experts around the world who have a lot of experience in sustainability and sustainable development, and have sort of done this for many years, and are willing to kind of help contribute some of their time and resources to support various projects in different communities around the world. And they're also thinking about starting various chapters. They're sort of refreshing the network as we speak. So as the O2 network comes back and develops further, a lot of their members and chapters, etc., will most likely take part in aRoundTable 2022 as well, and share their knowledge and resources and expertise. So we're looking forward to seeing how we could work closely with them to make aRoundTable 2022 even bigger, and have the right kinds of partners and mentors and support to implement some of the great ideas that that you all have developed, and that we hope will develop in the future as well. So if you are interested in learning more about aRoundTable, the process, and the plans for the future, you can visit our website, aroundtable.earth, and use the QR code as well to learn more. And yeah, thank you all so much.